Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kayla and it's time to crack into a good book. So today I thought I would do more of like a general reading video about where I have found free or cheap books. So I think on BookTube, a lot of us really enjoy buying books and like there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't want you guys to feel like obligated to buy as many books as I do. I buy a lot of books, so that would be like a little excessive unless you want to, and that's like totally fine. It's up to you. I know I always enjoy getting like free or cheap books, so I figured I would let you guys know what resources I found to help you out with that. So let's just jump right in. And I mean, obviously, we got to start off with like the most obvious thing ever, which is the library. Obviously, you can borrow a whole bunch of books for free from your library. So my library is actually really great. We've got books, like there's graphic novels, I mean, there's movies, but that's not really related to reading. There are audiobooks, which is really helpful. I've been getting into that more. And then we have ebooks and downloadable audiobooks. So that's like really cool. So I would recommend checking out your local library and see like what kind of resources they have. So for my library, like if they don't have a particular book, you can always request it. And you know, they may or may not take your recommendation into consideration, but you know, it's worth a shot. So I've done this a couple times, and I want to say like 2 of the 3 times I've done it, they have bought the book in question. So that's like super cool. My library also does sales like 3 times a year. So usually there's like, you know, different days or different prices, but you can pick up a whole bunch of books for fairly cheap. And so that's like at my local library. And then earlier this summer, the city of Raleigh, or like Wake County Library System, had a huge sale. And so like, I'm not personally a library member there, but it doesn't matter. Like, generally these library sales, like maybe the first few days are kind of restricted to members, but then they like generally open it up. So I swear, like 20 to 30 books at the sale for $1 each, which is like insanely good. Now the selection at these library sales is kind of iffy, but you can sometimes find some good stuff. So another obvious resource is like secondhand or used bookstores. And again, you never know what you're going to find, but sometimes the prices are pretty good. And I know I haven't found a good used library store here, I haven't found a good used bookstore here, which is a little unfortunate, but back home, there's like a really great bookstore and you can like bring in some of your books that you don't want, and like get credit to buy new books and whatnot. So that's like a really great system. I like it quite a bit. So, you know, if you can always take advantage of that's a great idea. Another resource I think that I've seen mostly on like BookTube are these like Facebook groups where you can trade or find books for fairly cheap. Now, I have no personal experience with this, so I can't really like recommend particular groups or anything. I'm sure if you just like search for book trading groups or something like that on Facebook, you can probably find something. But for all of these more like concrete examples of things that I'm talking about, I'll try to leave links down below in the description. So one thing that I discovered this summer, and I think it's only a summer program, is Audiophile Sync. So I think this is like specifically aimed at teens, but they have like a whole bunch of YA books. So if you want to pick up a YA book, go there. But it's maybe like a 12-week program over the summer, and they give out 2 free audiobooks per week. And so I picked up a few fantasy books that way. Not all of their selections are like things that I'm interested in, but sometimes they have stuff. I'll try to leave that link down below, and like, it's over for this summer, but next summer you can take advantage of it. Another resource that I've found are just Goodreads giveaways. So if you go to Goodreads, you can click browse and then select giveaways and browse the entire selection of all these. So I discovered this about 2 years ago, and at this point I think I've won like something like 22 giveaways, which is like really not that bad for, a 2-year time span. I generally like going into these things, I have never won like a raffle or giveaway or anything like that because I have like the worst luck, I swear. But I've been remarkably successful winning giveaways on Goodreads. So when I first started out, like it's kind of overwhelming, just like the sheer number of giveaways that exist. So you can, I think, sort by like particular genres that you're interested in. So that's how I started off, just like, looking under like sci-fi fantasy giveaways. But like now that I consistently check it every day, I just generally sort by like most recent, and then, look over the selection of books that have been listed, I guess, for giveaways like that day. And so I do this every day, or I try to at least. But yeah, so I've been pretty successful. It has actually really helped me to just like figure out what's going on, like in terms of new releases that I might be interested in, and just like generally, or like books that have already come out but like I haven't really heard of, or the books that I have heard of and like I'm really interested in. So like you can win, you can try to win some giveaways. It's kind of luck of the draw, but like I said, I've been remarkably successful, and I usually have the worst luck ever. So give it a shot. I mentioned this in one of my recent videos, and I'm maybe one of like July book haul. So Pinguin Books has like a rewards program that you can sign up for free. And so how it works is whenever you buy like a hardcover or a larger paperback from anything that's like published by a Penguin, you can get rewards. So each purchase of a hardcover or large paperback gives you 10 points. And I think every 12 books or 120 points, you get some free credit. So they basically give you like $30 worth of free credit, which can get you quite a bit. And you can just like, you go through them and purchase whatever you want, and they take care of like sales tax and shipping and stuff. So basically you can try to find like any combination of books for under $30 and get it for free. So I've done this a few times. I've combined it, so I'm getting like 2 books. Unfortunately adult hardcovers are really expensive, so you can generally only get one of those per rewards purchase. But it's pretty cool. So going into it, I didn't think I actually bought that much from Penguin Books, but it turns out they actually own quite a few imprints. Like for fantasy in particular, I think they own Ace, Daw, and Del Rey. I could be wrong on those, but I'm pretty sure that's right. But like basically what I do is no matter what book I buy, I like try to enter the ISBN number in their like little reward system, and if it works, that's great. If it doesn't, whatever. But so you just like have to show them proof of purchase. So like you can do this on Amazon stuff, Barnes & Noble, even book outlet purchases count for this, but they do make you like submit a picture, like they'll email you and be like, hey, we need additional proof. So you just like take a picture of your receipt, and they're like, okay, cool, the points are yours. So it's like a really great program. Again, free to sign up. I mean, why not? You can get free stuff. So another program, I guess, that I've discovered is that Tor publishers will give away, I think it's like maybe just like specifically a free book program. I don't know. But they send you a free ebook each month that they publish, obviously. So this is kind of hit or miss. There's been some books that like I've either already read or like I'm not really interested in, but I still like it's free, so whatever. So I'll try to leave that link down below so you can find out how to sign up. Again, it's free to sign up. Why not do it? I'm an Amazon Prime member, and if you are too, like here are some of the resources I found. So they do the Amazon First Reads each month, and they give you like a selection. I think they've increased it from like 6 to 8 books that are generally coming out, I think, or generally being published like the month after. Like, so if you, like September First Reads would be like published in October. I could be wrong about that, but it's generally like very recent releases or upcoming releases. This is also hit or miss. Like I haven't used it all of that much because it's just some of their book options. I'm like, I don't really care. That doesn't sound all that interesting to me. But again, free books if you're an Amazon Prime member. And then they also have like this Prime reading program. So they like, you can borrow, I think, up to 10 books, 10 ebooks at a time for free. And so these books are generally like a subset of the Kindle Unlimited book options. And so, like again, hit or miss stuff, but there's actually been some like self-published books that I've been interested in, particularly with fantasy. So that's, sometimes they're available that way. If you're an indie author, like I would highly suggest looking into this. But also if you just like want to help review indie books, I would suggest signing up for this thing. I've seen this whole program develop through the fantasy subreddit, and basically what it does, like the original creator, I think, who decided like it was a little too much to try to run that and the blog at the same time, I think. So Somebody else has taken over for it, but I believe the program is still running. I'll try to link that down below so you can take a look. But anyway, so what this does is it connects indie authors with reviewers, and it's just like a giant database. So you like sign up, say like what you're interested in reading, and then if like those authors think that your preferences may match their book, they can contact you and give you a free ebook to review. So generally, looking on the fantasy subreddit, quite a few people participate in this program and do post reviews. So like if you're going to sign up for this, like you should review these books, because take a look at that. I haven't done that myself, so I don't know like who participates in it and like what kind of books you can find, but it's worth a shot. So I'm also a Barnes & Noble member, and so they like will send coupons fairly frequently, and like there's like the 10% in-store discount that I take advantage of. But like I think even if you're not a member, you can still like sign up for Barnes & Noble's newsletter or like email service or whatever, and they should still send you coupons, even though it's I think not quite as much as what they send to members. But I mean, they send coupons fairly frequently, like every few weeks or so you get like a 15% off coupon, which is pretty great. I think they've kind of backed off a little bit on like the amount of the coupon, but it's still like something if you want to, purchase books through Barnes & Noble. And I think the final resource that I'm going to talk about today is Book Outlet. So I started buying things from Book Outlet earlier this year, and like it's kind of led me down a rabbit hole. So like I go into this saying, be very cautious. It's very dangerous and kind of addictive, because like there are so many books for really cheap, and then I'm like, oh my god, I just need to buy them all. So they have both like bargain bin, I think that's the phrase I use, copies, and like scratch and dent things. So I've never done any of the scratch and dent because like I would like my books to be in fairly nice condition. So I think what the bargain bin books are just like excess books published, and I think it's a lot of them that they buy from the publisher themselves, but I think also maybe like Walmart, Barnes & Noble, whatever, but just like excess stock. So what they'll generally have like a little mark across the bottom or top or like somewhere on it, just saying like this is excess stock. But it's a little sad having like your books be like marked up, but it's not that big of a deal, and you still get it generally these books for fairly cheap. Like I said, I haven't done the scratch and dent options, which are generally like much cheaper, but like I don't know what kind of quality they come in, so I've just kind of avoided that. It does take a little bit sometimes for like Book Outlet to actually ship your stuff, especially if they have like a sale or are super busy. But again, not that big of a deal. It's a good resource for like they've actually added quite a bit of like new releases much sooner after publication than I like anticipated, so you can buy like fairly recently published things for pretty cheap. So that's kind of fun. But again, I don't know. I have showed no self-restraint, I guess, with Book Outlet, so just be careful going into it, I guess. But yeah, like I have not had any issues with my books being in like really terrible condition or any customer service type complaints. So I think those are all the resources I wanted to talk about today that I found. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you know of other like ways to get free or cheap books. And I hope you're reading something good, and I will see you guys in the next one.